The worst feeling isn't failing. The worst feeling when you get to my age, I'm 86, is knowing you never even tried. I had a gift, truly I did. I saw things differently than other people. I could design structures in my mind, buildings that breathed, houses that felt like homes. But I kept waiting. I kept tweaking, adjusting, sketching the same blueprint over and over again, terrified that if I submitted it, if I put my name on it, someone would say it was merely fine. I waited 50 years to start my life's work, and the only thing I built was regret. Back in the 1960s, I was the quiet one in the firm. Others were rushing projects out, accepting imperfections, learning on the job. Me, I spent my nights meticulously drawing plans for my magnum opus, an urban park space unlike any seen before. I had notebooks stacked high in the attic, filled with my genius. I remember thinking, if this isn't perfect, if it doesn't redefine architecture, then it's not worth doing. That word, perfect, it's a cruel word. It's the excuse cowards use to avoid the messy business of creation. It certainly stopped me dead in my tracks. What does being afraid of starting look like? It looks like always needing one more course. It looks like saving the money for equipment you never use. For me, it was always the revision. If I had to present a design by Friday, I'd stay up Thursday night dismantling it, finding some tiny flaw, and deciding, no, the world isn't ready for this yet. I am not ready yet. It wasn't about the design, it was about the vulnerability. If someone criticizes my sketch, they're criticizing me. So I just kept the sketch hidden, safe from judgment, safe from life. The 30s and 40s are the engine room of your life. That's when you have the energy, the confidence, the lack of crippling joint pain to truly build something enduring. I remember my wife Beatrice finding one of my early design books, heavy, beautiful leather. She looked at me, eyes filled with such pride, and asked why I wasn't pitching this firm, why I was stuck filing paperwork for others. I told her I had family responsibilities, that stability was more important. That was a lie. Stability was just the comfortable cage I locked myself into so I wouldn't have to face the arena. The conflict becomes internalized. You start despising the talent you possess because it reminds you of your cowardice. You see a beautiful new building in the city, and instead of admiring it, a cold jealousy grips you. I could have done that better. But that thought is useless. It's a phantom accomplishment. Decades passed, and every success story I heard felt like a punch to the gut, reminding me that the only prerequisite for failure I truly mastered was inaction. The weight of that potential unspent is immense. It hurts most when I think about my son, Percival. When he was a little boy, I used to draw silly houses for him, tree houses, forts, impossible gravity-defying structures. He'd sit there, mesmerized. He didn't see a father who failed. he saw an artist. When he got older, he'd occasionally ask, "Dad, why didn't you ever build that park design you showed Mom?" I always deflected. I denied myself the pride of showing him that his father built something real, something permanent, because I was too busy protecting my ego from hypothetic criticism. You rob your family too when you hoard your light. The turning point, or perhaps the breaking point, came around 60, retirement age. I finally had all the time I had always claimed I needed. I pulled out the boxes, the heavy, dusty blueprints, and I couldn't look at them. I physically couldn't bring myself to pick up the T-square. The passion had curdled. It wasn't fear anymore. It was apathy born of absolute exhaustion. I had spent so long fighting the feeling that I wasn't good enough, that when the opportunity arrived, the fire had simply gone out. I gently, almost ceremonially, put the boxes back. That was the day the dream officially died. Now I am 86. I sit here and look out the window at the garden Beatrice tends. It's beautiful, it's alive, it's tended daily. And I contrast that with my professional life, barren soil. When you are old, your memories are all you have left. And I have these incredible, vivid memories of what could have been. I can see the buildings. I can walk through the parks I designed in my head. But they are ghosts. And ghosts, my friends, are terrible companions in your final years. They never leave you alone. I often think about the impact I failed to make. I had ideas that could have genuinely improved the cityscape of my hometown, designs that focused on community and light. Instead, I left a legacy of efficiency reports and filed documents. Nobody remembers the guy who filed the most accurate tax forms. They remember the guy who dared to build something, even if the structure swayed a little. My consequence wasn't material poverty. It was spiritual poverty. I gained safety, but I lost meaning. I watch young people today, and they talk about imposter syndrome. And I just want to shake them and say, who cares if you feel like an imposter? Ship the work. I spent my whole life being worried about feeling like an imposter. And now I feel something far worse, a spectator. I spent 40 years watching the parade go by, judging the floats, while my own masterpiece sat unfinished in the garage. The people who are succeeding aren't necessarily more talented. They are just more courageous in their willingness to be seen. Listen to me, because this wisdom cost me decades of pain. Time is the only asset that is non-renewable. You cannot get back the nervous energy of your 20s, the drive of your 30s. Every single day you delay starting something you know you are meant to do. You are making a conscious choice to prioritize fear over fulfillment. You are trading potential happiness for guaranteed safety. And safety, trust me, is terribly overrated once you realize it comes at the cost of your soul's purpose. I'm 86, and my hands shake too much to draw a straight line now. My chance has passed. But yours hasn't. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop waiting for perfection. Stop waiting for validation. If you have the spark, light the damn match today. Because if you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. And I promise you, when you're sitting where I am, surrounded by memories, you will not regret the things you tried and failed at. You will only regret the beautiful things you left unbuilt because you were too afraid to grab the hammer.